Studies have shown that violent and negative images in social media tend to have a negative effect on people and children when watched in excess. In addition, an increase in positive media leads to a healthy moral compass. Today, an overwhelming majority of teens ages 13 to 17 are on social media websites, and according to a 2015 Pew Research Center report, 71% of teens use more than one social network site. Over time, educators, coaches, and parents all begin to see the effect smartphones have on kids. We've all heard complaints that young people are spending too much time online and not enough time in the real world. 72% of teens today are on Snapchat. 68% of teens today are on Facebook. And 66% of them are all using Instagram.
I feel like social media kind of gives you an outlet to where you wouldn't usually, maybe you still have those same morals, but you feel too much pressure when you're around other people to act a certain way, but then your own personal morals kind of come out once you're alone by yourself online and there's nobody really checking you.
I don't think social media themselves are affecting our morals, but they're affecting the rate at which we can have them come into question. How rapid you can converse with people means you can have your opinions changed and influenced way quicker than you ever could have if you were just talking to people, because talking just is more of a personal experience. It's not quite as frequent and it takes time to digest, whereas information can come in like a snap and immediately influence how you think a lot more than regular conversation could.
I would say so. We come to believe certain things because people, in essence, guide us to believe a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
What's talked most about is probably considered most important in society, and so I think if you're really tuned into media and a bunch of social media, then people's opinions from those sites or channels will affect you and your beliefs.
The segment you're about to see is taken from an early experiment on learning of aggressive styles of behavior through modeling. Children watched a filmed adult perform novel aggressive acts toward a inflated doll, and the physical aggression was accompanied by novel hostile remarks. We later measured how much of this modeled aggression the children had learned just by watching. Now, the measurement of learning of aggression uses simulated targets rather than live ones. For example, to test how well bombardiers have learned bombing strategies, you would use simulated targets rather than require them to bomb San Francisco or New York. The model pummeled a doll with a mallet, flung it in the air, kicked it repeatedly, threw it down and beat it. It was once widely believed that seeing others vent aggression would drain the viewer's aggressive drive. As you can see, exposure to aggressive modeling is hardly cathartic. Exposure to aggressive modeling increased attraction to guns, even though it was never modeled. Guns had less appeal to children who had no exposure to the aggressive modeling. The children also picked up the novel hostile language.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because the one thing that I see, I mean, I've been a basketball coach for years, and some of the guys that I've coached over the years, I keep in contact with them through social media, and through that, I see some of the stuff that they post, and I think, I can tell that they didn't have any guidance on that from some of the language that they use, spelling, and just different things like that you would think, okay, well, maybe you didn't put a whole lot of thought into that. And one thing that one of my former coaches and mentors used to tell me about social media is always think before you hit the send button, because once you hit the send button, you can't bring it back. And that always resonated with me. Even if I was upset about something, or even if I wanted to speak my mind, I always had to think, there's a time and a place for for everything. So just because you're thinking it, you don't have to share it with the world. Just because you see something that you like, you don't necessarily have to snap a picture and share it with the world. So there's definitely some responsibilities that we have on social media. I really think it'd be cool if we came up with a social media etiquette class where we can just teach people, you maybe shouldn't do this, or you should do this. This is acceptable. This is not acceptable. But I think right now with social media, everything seems like it's acceptable. We see so much stuff now that it's kind of become normal, even though it really shouldn't be normal. We glorify things now that we shouldn't have never glorified to begin with, just because we see it a lot more often than we used to.
Slogans and things like that came out. My children were high school and college age. So it wasn't a big issue for me because I felt like they were old enough and, that we had been guiding them along. But goodness, if they had been grade school age, I think I really would have watched. Just because you can click on something that looks like it's perfectly okay, and all of a sudden it's not. So yeah, I think definitely. In fact, I sometimes am surprised at the children that have Facebook accounts. I don't know now. I haven't had a child where I was watching it. I don't know if you can control what they see or anything like that. But if it were me, I would definitely want to know what they were doing or be watching, and I think I would put an age limit on it. Yeah, not until you're a certain age do you even need to. Yeah, personal opinion.